I'm Roberta, I'm from Forum for the Future. We're an organisation that works on some of the key global sustainability challenges that we're all facing, and I work specifically on the food part of that. So I came here to talk about the Protein Challenge 2040, which is a big multi-stakeholder collaboration in the space that's been going 3 years now between business and NGOs. And it's really looking at how do we provide a protein system going forward that actually feeds our growing population in a way that is healthy, in a way that is sustainable and ultimately affordable and tasty for people. That's quite a big challenge, and unfortunately, although we're seeing a lot of interesting innovation in this space, I guess one of my key messages to the group here was to say that we're far from getting to mainstream, and we really need to focus on how are we going to get these products to market fast and at scale to meet some of the really big sustainability challenges that we're facing. Two pieces that we're really looking at are around feed and around food. And from a feed point of view, I think we really feel like the market doesn't really know what to do yet with all of these new innovations coming to it. You know, that every day retailers and food manufacturers are getting called up about insects, about algal products, and they don't actually really know what the right direction to go in is. And so that's a really big challenge still. So we're actually looking at how do you help people to navigate this space, create a common language, a new mindset about how you look at feed, going beyond just animal nutrition and financial points of view. But clearly there's also a big problem still where a lot of these alternative proteins remain more expensive than other options on the market at the moment. So there's some really big challenges in that space. And from a food point of view, I think we find that we really see chefs at the centre of this picture. So they have a really important role to play in society, making the ingredients that we're all creating really tasty, really nutritionally valuable as well. And at the moment they simply don't have the skills needed to process these alternative proteins or these new proteins coming onto the market. Traditional chef training is simply designed to help a chef understand how to use beef, how to use lamb, how to use poultry, quite literally in the different sort of chapters of their training, and very little there about how to actually create tasty plant-based protein. So that's a really key area we see where there's need for change. Actually, so it was industry that originally suggested the collaboration. So they came to us with the idea of wanting to look at this space. I think a lot of them are really aware that the change is happening fast and that they need to understand, you know, what's coming down the track for their businesses. So in terms of the leading businesses, that wasn't a problem. I think there's a challenge about getting the mainstream on board with this movement. And there's a very real difference between, making interesting new plant-based categories and getting on board with a sort of mainstream shift that needs to happen towards less animal protein and more plant-based or other alternative proteins. So I think that's still a really big challenge for business. There aren't really the business models there yet for them to work with. I think what I really take away is that there are lots of people really passionate about driving innovation in this space, and that a lot of the interesting sort of fundamental research has been done, but there's a lot of challenges still around getting the functionality right of these products, getting the right taste, the right texture, the right sort of viscosity in all of this for going into food applications, for going into feed applications. There's a real need for kind of investment in that space, and a real need to also go beyond just looking at the sort of single protein product that's coming out of some of these interesting things like seaweed and whey, and looking at the co-products and how do they help make sure that the whole piece is financially viable. And I think that's a really key opportunity, and one that I hadn't really sort of thought much about previously.